real name's Josue. Growing up here in Utah, people couldn't say Josue, so I got Sway from it. And thank you. What led me to my path, essentially, was when I was 19, my mother passed away from cancer. And that took a big toll on me because my mom was everything for me. I was her baby boy, and when that happened, I felt useless. Right? My mom was my biggest antagonizer. She was like, she just helped me do everything. So I felt useless when she passed. So a year after she passed, I attempted suicide. And it didn't happen because divine intervention is real, right? God is real. However you want to picture God, that's fine. That's your choice, and that's what God wants from that, all right? So the night that I was attempting suicide, divine intervention came through, and I heard these loud voices in my head. Don't do it, turn around, join the military, join the military, join the military. It got so loud in my head that I yelled out. It was like 2 a.m. I was like, fuck, fine already. All right, I'll do it. And I like snapped out. I was in straight zombie mode. And I started to recognize, okay, what just happened? What did I just feel? That was something out of this world. And so I get on my laptop and I was like, okay, I heard the Marine Corps. I heard the military. So the first thing that I ever think of when the military is the United States Marine Corps. All right? Hoorah. So I get online, and the first thing that I see, it said, earned, never given. Is this better?
Yeah.
All right. So, earned, never given. I broke down, I started crying. I said to myself, this is it. This is how I'm gonna make it. I could finally earn my life. I'm gonna really, really earn my life and prove it to everybody else that I am worth something. So I enlisted. It's 2012, so the war's still going, so I'm thinking I might go to Mars or something. I enlisted to be a grunt, right? Infantry, run and gun. God still had different plans for me, all right? I went and I did everything you're supposed to do as a Marine, but in the Marine Corps, they tell you what to do. Speak louder?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this better?
Yes.
All right. So, through the process of boot camp, you get selected. If you do everything right, you could be a presidential Marine. And I went through the whole process. I didn't know I was going to be a presidential Marine. They don't tell you anything. And before you knew it, after every school that I did, I was top of my class for everything. And all of a sudden, they're telling me that I'm not going to go to war. They're telling me I'm going to DC. And I was like, well, what's in DC? Like, I don't even remember, because boot camp, you're pretty much brainwashed. So I go to DC. I had the pleasure of being with the President of the United States. I worked for an agency called White House Communications Agency. When my time there was done, and I got out of the Marine Corps, I was really embarrassed to tell people that I was a presidential Marine. Because when you think that you're a Marine, you think that, you run and gun, that you're a badass. Well, I didn't go to war. And that was the whole point for me, to prove that I can earn my life by sacrificing my life again. So I got depressed again. And thanks to my lovely wife, she made sure I stayed, top notch. So I got back into massage therapy, and I kept asking God, why? Why did I not prove myself? Why did I not prove myself? Why didn't I go to war? And I'm very spiritual, so I got this answer. It's just like from, it obviously wasn't a voice or anything, but it was internal, right? It came from the heart, and it said, how can you help people heal if you had blood on your hands? And then that's when I accepted my path, that I meant to help people, right? That everything that I've been through, right? The depressions, the suicide attempts, the anger issues, everything I'm supposed to feel so I can empathize, so I can help people heal, so I can help people understand that they too can be masters of their own lives. And I'm honored, and I'm so grateful that I have all you guys' attention today. I like to say this saying, right? We all feel nervous about something at some point, but we have a choice. We could either be nervous anxious or nervous excited. And today I choose to be nervous excited, And I'm so grateful that you guys are holding this space for me today so I can speak for my very first time. All right? So thank you. So I'll do a little rundown of like how I work. So the body always tells a story, all right? And so when I look at someone, just through body language, posture, we can tell a lot by someone. And it's not just something that I can do, it's something that we all do, right? Let's say, for example, two people in here were fighting, and we weren't, we had our vape break, right? So we're chilling outside, two people were fighting. We come back inside, we didn't know two people were fighting. We're gonna start to notice, the energy's different in here. Something happened, right? That's because we're using our intuition. So all we have to do is allow ourselves to feel. Not try, not do, just allow. We're human beings, not human tryings. And this is something that we have to allow ourselves to really, really step into. And the nerves are coming in. There we go. Right? Super excited. When we're working the body, right? So if I'm standing here and I have my arms folded, right? You used to be like, okay, Sway's maybe a little insecure, he's closing off. Because the first thing we do when we feel like threatened, even if there's no threat, we want to close, right? We want to protect our vital organs, right? If we lean to the left, right, we're thinking more about the past. If we lean to the right, we're thinking too much about the future. If I say take a deep breath and someone goes, right, they're forcing so much into their life because they feel like the world's on top of their shoulders and they have to muscle their way through life, right? Think about the sayings, stomach your emotions. Where are you gonna feel the emotion? In your stomach. When people say, my heart's broken, where are they feeling it? Right in the heart. You're a pain in my ass. You're a pain in my neck. These are all real things that we just have to really pay attention to, right? Words have meaning. It's called spelling because we cast spells with our words, right? So it's a beautiful thing that all we have to do is just create awareness in our life. If it's one thing that we could have in this world, it's just to have awareness. Sure, we're aware, right? We're thinking, but what if we really, really tapped into our awareness? Then now we're really moving, all right? So as I work on the body speaks, right? It's a map, and I'm just a map reader. And we can all do this. Obviously, I do it all day, so I'm gonna be the expert. But intuitionally, like naturally speaking, we always feel our pains, and so we have to pay attention to that.
You can move it.
Better?
The speaker, you can move it over
yeah.
so it's more.
Give
Try
me
the other mic too. The other mic might be more turned up.
Let's try this one.
Okay. Better?
Oh, that's
All right. Was I too soft?
I don't know how to turn it off.
My yelling days are over, so. No, I'm just kidding. Don't confuse anger with passion. All right? Passion is something that we all get to have, and I think a lot of the times it's misconstrued with being angry, right, or being too emotionally unstable. It's okay to be passionate. Well, as we go on, I kind of want to go off, and I'm going to use the whiteboard, so I might turn my back on you for a little bit. But I want to talk to you guys about fear. Oh, do you have markers? Oh, thanks.
Markers.
Yeah, right?
passion.
It's his passion.
Whose?
Shay's.
Shay's passion is,
His markers and office supplies.
right? Doesn't matter. Thank you. All right. So fear is really important because if we're afraid of something, that means we're in the right place to be. All right? It means you're that much closer to being the person you want to be. I'm really scared right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right? But that's because I want this really bad. All right? So excuse me if I have my turn back on you. So fear, hopefully you can see that. Right? Fear creates 4 things. All right? All right? Fear creates fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Hopefully you can read my handwriting. All right, fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Who's not familiar with one of them? Which one? Fawn? Fawn means you're like people pleasing. All right, you're kissing ass. All right? So, all of these things we are going to feel when we are afraid. Right? Right now I can feel like I want to freeze and not say anything. All right? I almost had that just a little bit when I got really excited. What another thing that happens though is fear also creates one more F. Okay? This is the best one. Flow. All right? With these right here, I'm choosing to be stuck. I'm choosing to not be successful. But when I feel my fear, I get to flow with it. I choose what I want to do with it. And today, I'm choosing to be the best person I want to be. And this is the coolest part about life, is that we all have the choice. Anytime you feel like you can't do something, that you're afraid of stepping into your truth, sit with it. Sit with your discomforts. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Feel it for what it is. And you'll flow. It's innate to us, right? Life moves with or without us. And it's your choice. If you want to move forward, you're going to flow. Life goes on with or without you, right? So if you don't move with life, life is going to move you, and it's definitely not fun. And I'm sure we've all been there, right? We don't want to make the choice that we should make, and it hurts us. So just remember that you can flow with your fear. And so this is probably, fear is probably the number one thing that I get to work with when I work with people. That we're all afraid of something. So we mask ourselves with something deeper, right? We say that we're something that we're not. We lie to ourselves. If it's one thing that I've learned, you can lie to anybody you want in this world. Never lie to yourself. Because the only person that speaks your truth is you. The only person that has your back is you. So why would you lie to yourself? All right? And so when I'm working on the body, where I usually feel fear is all within the stomach area. Always, right? It's the gut instinct. Trust your instinct, and you're going to be you, the best version of you. But if you don't trust your instinct, you're just going to mask all that up. All right? Emotions. So here's how we heal. We heal physically, we heal chemically, and we heal emotionally. And the best way that I can put it to you is if you roll your ankle, right? The first thing you feel is pain. All right? Shay and I, we talked about this, right? So the first thing you feel is pain. The next thing is you're probably going to say a swear word. Shit, damn, all that good stuff, right? The next thing is that emotion is going to trigger a chemical response. And that will trigger essentially cortisol, insulin, high levels of adrenaline, right? What happens when you feel adrenaline? You start to get shaky, right? Your heart starts to pound. So then it creates a cycle. That chemical response creates a physical response again. And if that physical response doesn't let loose, it creates another emotional response like anger. And now you're uncontrollable. And then Hulk smash. Right? And how many times have we Hulk smashed and we're like, oh shit, why did I do that afterwards? Right? So if we allow ourselves to just take a step back, really sit with our emotions, really feel our fear, understand it for what it is, it's there to tell us that we are that much closer to who we are. So give yourself a break, right? You don't need to beat yourselves up. Sit with it. It's just an emotion, right? A thought is just a thought until you take action. So why not just think? It's okay to think. Thoughts are just thoughts. We all have bad thoughts. We all have good thoughts. They're just thoughts, right? You don't become a bad person until you take the action upon the bad thought, right? And even then, it's a mistake, so you can correct it, right? That's the whole point. We came to this earth to understand that we're here to experience. And we're not just going to experience pink rainbows and unicorns and fluffy ducks and stuff, right? So when we do experience the hard times in our lives, we have to let that emotion come through us, right? The way we do that is through resistance. All right? A lot of the times we're quote unquote resisting. We think, oh, I'm resisting being bad. I'm resisting my temptations. I'm resisting. But what we're actually doing is we're avoiding. All right? And we're trying to fill the void with something else. You see, resistance is a big part of our life in order for growth. Who here likes to work out? Right? Who? What's that?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
Who's currently doing it, who likes to?
Yeah. Right? Well, in anything that you want to get better at, there's always going to be resistance. Always. Do you want me to speak higher? Is that what you're saying? Oh,
Yeah, it sounds
okay. I was like, man. All right. So resistance is key to our success. All right? If we want to get better at anything, we have to allow the resistance to come through us. Right? If we're trying to get better at bench press or squats or anything, walking, running, it doesn't matter, cooking, we have to go through the process of resistance. It's the only way that we're going to learn. So why would we avoid it? Right? That's the physical portion. So what's the difference between physical resistance and emotional resistance? There isn't none. Resistance is resistance. So when our emotions come through, we must allow that emotion to come through us, process it. Otherwise, it gets stuck inside our body. And then we have that achy feel. And then we wonder why we're so messed up. Allow yourselves to feel. Allow yourselves to resist. Right? Feel the resistance. Let that resistance come through. And you'll process it a lot better. Yesterday, I was in this men's group. It's called Sacred Sons. I don't know if you ever heard of it or not. It's pretty cool. It was my first time yesterday. And one of the guys, he was talking about, his daddy issues and whatnot. And essentially what happened was his dad had finally broke through and they were able to smoke weed with each other finally, right? So they made peace. And the dad was telling the son if he knew the difference between a buffalo and a cow. The son said, I have no idea. Have you heard this before? Cool. You too? Cool. I just heard it yesterday. I was blown. But anyways, so he said the difference between a buffalo and a cow is that a cow will run away in a winter storm, right? So the winter storm will catch up. So as that winter storm is coming through, the cow actually makes it feel like it's twice as long because they're both going in the same direction. And the buffalo holds its ground and it goes through it. It goes through the winter storm and it lasts half the time. At least that's what it feels like. And so he tells his son, I've tried to belittle you for so long because I always felt like the cow. But I'm so glad that you were always the buffalo and you never gave up. And the son goes, and they were both crying, dude. It was nuts. And the son goes, I never felt like the buffalo, but I'm just glad that I can smoke weed with you today. So I loved that story because it's all about the resistance, right? We don't know why things happen for us, right? And I said it right. We don't know why things happen for us because they happen for us. Everything is in divine timing, divine intervention, and the multi-directional and multi-dimensional things that happen for us, right? So the more that we play the victim in our story, the less that we can be the hero of our own reality. And that's a choice. We get to choose to be the hero of our own reality. And to go back and forth with how I work on the body and what all this means is because it's all one, right? If we feel something physical, I guarantee you there's something emotional in there. And the more that I work on the body, the more I realize everything is emotions. It's vibrations, it's frequencies. In this room, you guys can just feel that there's a different vibe, right? You guys all created that with me. It's not just me up here. I'm just really grateful to be here. It's I'm sweating like I'm sweating crazy right now, right? But as I was thinking coming up here, I was like, you know what? This is my first time. I'm just gonna raw dog it, right? I'm just gonna be here. I'm gonna be real. right? I'm gonna be real, I'm gonna be authentic, all right? This is who I am. I'm nervous, I'm scared, and I was like, what am I gonna talk about? What am I gonna speak about? I have no idea, I've never done this before. I was like, great, this is a perfect example. You are the example, be the example, lead from the front, right? Be scared, show them that this is what it looks like to be scared, right? This is the most beautiful thing that we could ever do, is allow ourselves to be who we want to be. I know that in my life, I am designed to help people. And for the longest time, I thought I couldn't. I thought I wasn't worth it. I thought I wasn't worthy. I just never thought I could. But now I'm here. And I hope that this helps you with whatever issue, whatever you're afraid of, right? That you are able to connect with your bodies, connect with your soul, connect with your spirit, connect with your heart, right? That's the thing, is that the heart never lies. Our brains do. Hazel was a great reminder today. She said to speak from the heart, right? Not from the mind. And it was really funny because on my way here, I'm thinking nothing but with my head, right? And that calmed me down. I took a deep breath and I realized that's right. It's from the heart. It's always from the heart. It's really funny. What's interesting is one-on-one, I'm really, really good at what I do. But here, I'm so vulnerable, I feel so exposed, I might as well just be naked. Right? Yeah. I mean, that's the point, right? Like, why do we need clothes?
You know, one thing I've been thinking is so much of what you do is like reading somebody, reading them. I can't have you use a client because I can't have a client up on camera.
Yeah.
But I wonder if a staff or somebody that you know here, you could have them come up and you can do what you do and tell us what you see and like.
Yeah, as long as they're okay with it. As long as they're okay with it, yeah.
You call on who you feel is ready.
Who I feel? Well, I don't know who's a client or not, so.
Somebody who's gone to him before.
Or someone who's gone to you before. Yeah.
Calling somebody will tell you if it works or not.
You.
I mean, I can do it if you always do items and do it with the camera. Do you want to make sure?
I would love to do that.
I got a Hazel. This is
All right.
Chris. Sway, this is Chris. Chris is Sway.
That's what it is.
So I guess we'll give you a little preview of how a session with me starts.
Yes.
Do you want me to come down?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
The other mic you need to turn up, apparently.
Do you want me to say? Do I need to say anything?
You can if you want to.
I love saying stuff. You haven't
Okay.
made it clearly. So
Perfect.
how the hell do you turn this thing on? No, it doesn't matter that much. We don't care that much.
Well, they
Really.
care on there. They care. Okay. It's
Well,
okay.
We can
see,
share.
we can share, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was already filling me up earlier, so.
Yeah.
He's ready.
Put the mic on me.
Okay.
All right. So if you want, just go ahead and face the crowd. I'm going to turn my back on you again. All right, so just
Do you
stand.
want me to- do you
No,
want-
just stand nice and relaxed for me. All right? So you can put your arm down too. All right, so just standing nice and relaxed.
Is it too echoey now?
Do you mind taking your shoes off?
Do you want me to take my clothes off too, since we should always?
That, yeah, that's perfect.
You want socks off too?
Yeah, being naked is the best, so.
Okay.
All right, so just face the cameras. All right, so just standing here, he's nice and relaxed. So,
Okay. I'm getting a lot of directions. Is this okay?
yes,
Okay. Now he's.
hop on the stage. He's the one with the
Take off
camera.
the
He has the
watch?
view.
Okay.
All right,
You can
so
do that. Yeah, I want to do that. That works.
the reason why I have people take their shoes off is because shoes create a height difference, or like we become very, very conditioned to when we wear a certain type of shoe, we like to stand differently. So when we're barefoot, this is exactly how we are.
So don't wear shoes.
You can definitely wear shoes,
Oh.
but
Stand to your right a little bit, Chris. So you're not right behind the speaker. There you go.
Is that good?
Yep. Okay, that's great.
all right. So as Chris is just standing here, we can see, so his body is kind of shifting out to the side, right? So his right hip is out to the right, his upper body goes to the left. All right, so I'm just gonna get behind him. If you guys can't see it, let me know. Can you see that? Yeah. That he shifted like this? All right, it could be because he has a brand new baby and he probably likes to hold him on this side.
It's not that.
No?
No.
Cool, so you hold him on the other side?
Oh, I don't
You don't hold the kid?
know. No. I don't know.
All right, so these, all
I guess I hold on this side more. Yeah, that's fair.
right.
That's fair.
So,
That's fair. I hold on this side more, right? Because you're saying I sway this way.
yeah,
But I sway this way anyways because of my hip.
yeah.
I'm just. Yep.
So I don't know what's wrong with your hip yet or anything.
I don't either.
Okay.
Anyways, you're supposed to fix me, bro. That's what I'm
Whoa, not the fixing, brother. This is just the view, man. This is just the view. Anywho,
So I don't get fixed out? You just tell me I'm ruined?
I don't know, my man. You gotta get on the table for that. All right.
Well, we don't have to.
All right. Anyways, this is just the physical portion. So this is the first thing that I do is I analyze what's going on in the body. All right. The next thing is we can see that he's kind of crushed forward. If you give him a side view, all right, and we can see that his hips are going forward, his shoulders are rotating forward. I call this a crushed soda can effect. All right. This is what happens if you're like sitting down for long periods of time. All right. Give him a back view. We can see that this left shoulder rises higher. If he's a side sleeper, this would be his favorite side. Is it?
Do you want the answer?
Yeah.
I actually like to sleep on my right.
Oh, you like to sleep on your
I
right?
like to sleep on my right more, but
Okay.
But I'm pretty equal. I feel like.
Cool.
Yeah.
So does this one like to come up?
Well, because I sleep next to my wife, yeah, this one comes up more
Okay.
because I.
So then there you go, right? So it's a process of elimination.
It's your fault. See, I had equal shoulders
Alright.
until we met. Okay.
Because the body is multi-directional, multi-dimensional. What's up? Because the body is multi-directional, multi-dimensional, we have to do a process of elimination, right? So he is a side sleeper, but he doesn't like this side, but this arm does come up, right? So we're figuring it out.
Why am I balding? Can you give me
Genetics.
Genetics. Okay.
All right.
I don't know
Stress.
if you can fix that, bro.
All right, turn around.
Okay.
Take a deep breath. All right, bring your arms up over your head. Take a deep.
This?
Yep.
Okay.
Take a deep breath. Did you feel how that breath was a lot easier than the other one?
Yes.
All right, that's because when we have that crushed soda can effect, we can't breathe. But the second we bring our arms up, you can bring your arms down.
Oh, okay.
The second we bring our arms up, that allows us to breathe better. So when I work on the body, the first place that I work is in the psoas. That will also help with this hip issue.
Can you show us what the psoas is at?
The psoas is the main hip flexion. It goes by the diaphragm right on top of the leg. Was that too much touch?
Intent to touch? No. You can touch me as much as you want.
All right. Well, I didn't touch you. It was the marker.
It
so.
was a good point.
All right. Anyways, so the emotional part to where his breath would be is that in his solar plexus, if he's not receiving enough oxygen, right? Just think about it. If we're not receiving oxygen, who are we? We're pretty much dead. We're forcing our lives, right? So to allow ourselves to stand up straighter and actually take that deep breath, that actually brings in oxygen, right? So the more you breathe, the better you feel. That's probably why you're balding.
Probably.
So you don't have enough oxygen.
Yeah, it's true. I believe that to be true.
No, I'm just playing.
Oh, really?
Anyways.
I was just going to start breathing more.
But breath is good. Breath is
It
life,
is.
right?
I'm a big fan of
We can go days without food, days without water, but we can't go minutes without oxygen, right? So why not fix the start? All right. So when I work on people, I work the bully first, then the victim. So the bully would be his midsection. I get rid of that, right? So if he's feeling tension on his shoulders because they're off, or the tension in his hips because they're off, the first place I have to work is in the center. All right. I have to get rid of the bully first. So that's the way I work about it.
Cool.
Pretty cool?
Yeah, I love
All
it.
right, man. Well, I appreciate you.
Oh, was that it? Okay.
Okay. So that's the first view. Obviously, I'll still ask, like, is there anything that you really want me to work on, right? And then most of the time, people will say something similar to that. But the number one thing is we work here first. Think about it. These are where, like, all your visceral organs are, too. So they also hold emotions, right? The liver stores onto a lot of anger, right? So every time I work on someone that's angry, usually the liver's pretty pretty banged up, right? And that also has to do with chemical responses, right? If we're angry, we like to take a drink, right? Think about all the Red Bulls, right? Think about the Monsters, think about alcohol, all these things, right? Sugars, right? Artificial sugars are just as bad as alcohol, right? Because our body doesn't know how to process it. So if we're angry, a lot of times we'll fixate on stuff. So oral fixation is a big part of that. So there's just, it's crazy. Like we need like 5 hours to really like dive deep. But so the more we get to have awareness in our life, the more we'll start to understand our body. And it feels difficult at first because we don't know where to start sometimes. But the first place is just to take a deep breath, right? So once again, the breath work, right? And don't focus on the inhale, focus on the exhale. It's the exhale, that is your most state of rest, that is your homeostasis. So if you just take that big, deep breath, right? Just when you let it out till you have nothing more, till it's almost like you're just like pushing it all out, right? The next thing that's gonna happen is you're just gonna take a deep breath again. That is the most natural thing. That is where you can start. That is where you can start to ask questions. Because think about when we're going through our issues, our mind goes 1,000 miles an hour. And then we start to get panic attacks. We start feeling anxious, right? We start to feel like we're not in control of our body. But the thing is, you're making that choice. That means you've always been in control, right? So if we take that breath, if we take that second, if we allow ourselves to feel, right? To feel the resistance, to feel what's really going on, we'll understand that that's awareness. And the more that we can become aware, the better it'll just get. All right? We good to go?
You got like 7-8 minutes.
7-8 minutes? All right. Another thing, when I'm done working on the body, at the end of it, I'll have them well, it's also in between, but I'll have them feel things throughout the day, throughout the process. So as I work on the body on the right side, I'll be, okay, how does this feel compared to the left? All right, and they'll take a deep breath, like, oh yeah, this feels a lot better. Because the psyche is really important. If I can have you feel, and if you can feel that things are changing, then you're allowing yourself to change, right? When people come and see me, most of the time it's word of mouth. So they already have the expectation that something's gonna happen. Now, that doesn't mean I did it. That means you did it. That means you're allowing it to happen. I'm just the facilitator, right? I'm the one that helps you. I'm like the Play-Doh master, right? I manipulate the muscles, but it's you who actually has to maintain and gain what we've done in that time frame. And my whole goal is to teach people that you don't have to depend on me. That if you work on your body daily, you don't need me. Because the whole time you've never needed me. All you needed was yourself. I'm just a reflection of who you are. That's all I am. Today, if you look to the person to your left and to your right, they're a reflection of who you are. Right? I am me and you are me. And together we help each other heal. So we're not alone. Right? I love that. Right? The more you look at each other in the eyes, the more you see your souls. We're all connected, we're all one. We all come from the same place, we all have the same blood, the same body. So we just have to start to create that awareness within ourselves.
Hey, so wait, Nikki's willing to do it too, if you want to do a male and a female.
Sure.
Yeah. So Nikki has gone this way before, and so she's willing to do that if you're...
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Come on up, Nikki. So we're gonna do a different demonstration. Go ahead and take your sandals off. And I'll have you get on stage. And then I'm gonna have you just walk back and forth. So, there. I'll just have you start like right about here and go to the corner and come back. So, as she's walking, we can see that there's a little bit of a sway to the right. All right? You got any issues on the right side? You got any issues on, like, with your hips, ankles, knees?
Hips a little bit, yeah.
Right? So if you go ahead and take a walk again,
Okay.
right? We can see, and if you pay attention closely, there's a little bit of off of pattern in the way that she walks.
You can feel it.
Right? There's a little bit more of a prolonged thud on her right leg,
On the right.
right? So that's the awareness, right? It's paying attention to what she's doing, the way she walks. Immediately as she was walking, there was that little bit of a sway to it, right?
I just thought it's because my right leg's longer than my left.
Is it clinically?
I don't know.
Okay, because if we like to do this a lot, right, the hip hikes up. So then when you go get adjusted, they say, oh, you have one leg longer than the other. It's not technically true, right? It just means that this hip is hiked up, but they're still the same length, so they got to put both legs back even. So if you like to stand a lot on your right side,
I do.
right, that's where it would go. So once again, so the right side of the body is masculine energy, the left side of the body is feminine energy. Do you like to contemplate a lot into the future?
Not so much anymore, but I used to a lot.
Okay, so an old pattern,
Yes.
all right? So as she's healing, she can allow herself to be aware that an old pattern is stuck in the physical form. So the more that she corrects that physical form, it no longer it can cease to exist. That is an old pattern that you no longer need.
Interesting.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give him a side view. All right, so let me see your side view. So same thing with her, just a little bit, her hips rotate forward. So a little bit of an issue on the low back,
Yeah, my right side.
all right? For the same concept that when she's here, she's also popping her booty out like J-Lo, right? So learning how to rotate the hips is really important. So when I'm working on people, we go through a series of like, okay, this is what you can do for exercises. This is usually done at the very end of the session. So if there's no time, I say, please remind me, because I send a lot of homework. I can send you a lot of homework so you know exactly what to do, because a lot of times people will forget anyways.
You taught me how to, whenever I would sit down, to stand when I stand up.
Yeah.
Like, and properly.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. So now when I walk, I'm always like, kind of
You see
pushing
that
my
again
hip.
when you get back here. Here you go.
Here.
One of the, I think it was the second time that I had went to
Closer.
you. The second time that I had went to Sway, he had taught me, he asked me to sit down and stand up, and like 3 different times. And the third time, it was just, I did it. He was like, no, not, like use your back,
Your butt.
your butt, rather than your feet and your knees. And so now I even, to this day, when I walk, I think about that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So essentially what it is this is where that saying where Shay said is, if you don't have a strong ass, the rest of your body's ass. Therefore you feel like ass, so work your ass. Right? And so a lot of the times when we're sitting down, we forget to use our glutes. And our weight, most of our weight is from the top of our head to our waistline. And so if we're not using our glutes properly, it's going to distribute down to our knees and down to our ankles. So then that's when we have knee problems. That's when we have ankle problems, because we're not using our glutes properly. Weight distribution needs to happen in the hips. That's why if you look at athletes, when they're really quick, they're moving from the hips, not from the knees and ankles. When they do, that's when they get their ACL ruptured, right? Their PCLs, MCLs, meniscus, or the ankle rolls, and then now they're out for a long time. So if you don't want to keep standing up like an old person, right? Learn how to use your butt. Learn how to use your glutes. Learn how to hip thrust, right? Do you want to?
Hip
Chair?
thrust?
Yeah, so like we can get a chair. Do you, yeah, do you want to give him an example of how to sit and stand? And the hip thrust will be there. Yeah, sideways works. So,
Show us how to use
yeah.
Okay. So I think like I used to just be like.
So, yeah, most of the time people will use their hands to sit up, to stand up,
Yeah, I like
and
that.
even to sit down, right? But the process is our weight distribution is going to be from our glutes, but where we will plant and be grounded is on our feet. So as she leans forward, right about there, she's going to then use her legs to help her up, and about 3/4 of the way up, she's going to hip hinge. This is where the hip thrust happens, right? And that weight will be distributed into the glutes. All right, now do it without using your hands. Perfect scenario of how to do it. Thank you. There's an amazing amount of things that we can do. It's endless, and that's one of the most basic examples. To conclude my time here, as I'm so gratefully glad that it's almost over. Right? Yeah. No, once again, I'm super grateful that you allowed me to be here and you're holding the space for me today. It's an honor to be here, and if I can help you out in any way, please let me know. You don't have to come in and get a session. You just hit me up, be like, hey, I want to learn more about how I can use my body better. I'm all about it, because the more you learn how to use your body, the better you are, and the better we can help people. We're not alone in this world. I know a lot of the times we feel alone, and sometimes all we got to do is just reach out, you know? And so if we help each other out that way, you're going to help somebody else out, even if you don't know it, you don't recognize it. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.